So you've already got one VA loan and you heard that you can have another, but you may have looked at your certificate of eligibility and you notice that you have no entitlement left over. Now what? You see, many lenders out there will tell you that you can only have one VA loan at a time, and others who know you can have more than one will probably tell you that you can only have up to two at a time. Both of these are myths and they're actually not true. And in this video, I'm going to use real life scenarios and real lives veterans certificates of eligibilities to show you that it is possible to not only have two VA loans at a time, but I'm also going to show you how to have three VA loans at the same time. Before I jump into the video, me and my team get called every day from veterans just like you who are trying to navigate the VA loan process. So if you find yourself stuck or you just want to get help from a team of individuals who specialize in helping veterans go through the VA loan process, give us a call, shoot us a text, or even set up a discovery call with us. Link is in the description and we'll be happy to help you. So what does entitlement even mean when it comes to the VA home loan benefit? A very common term when it comes to referring to a VA loan is going to be a veteran's entitlement or eligibility. And this is something that doesn't actually really get clarified for veterans to better understand. You see, entitlement or 100% entitlement is essentially a veteran who has no active VA loans in place, and they essentially have their full entitlement available for them to be able to purchase a property up to whatever they can income and credit qualify for. When it comes to second tier entitlement or bonus entitlement, this is essentially where a veteran is going to use however much that they have remaining on a second property or even third, as I mentioned in the beginning of the video. When it comes to determining how much they have available does depend on where they're going to buy. So as you can see here on screen, you're going to see a map of the conforming loan limits, and this gets set by the FHFA, and it happens every single year. Over the last several years, we have seen this continue to increase, and that's just simply just because the cost of homes continue to increase. How much they change each year is really the unknown answer. That's something that is set again by the FHFA. But what you need to know is what the county loan limit is in the place that you're going to be purchasing. So I have on the map here, I'm going to show you kind of where I am at. I am in Bexar County, Texas, and the county loan limit is $766,550. Again, why is this important? Because you need to know what the county loan limit will be in the place that you are going to be purchasing. Where you purchased your previous properties does not matter. It's solely about where you're going to be. But what you need to notice here is every other place similar to Bexar County that is in gray is essentially going to have the same county loan limit, $766,550. But the other areas that have some color to them, a yellow, a light orange, and a darker orange color, are going to be known as the higher cost areas. So if you look at here in Colorado, Elbert County, the county limit is $816,500. So it's a little higher than where it would be where I am at in Texas. But if you go over to some place that is more in a lighter orange color, as you can see in San Diego County, it's right over $1 million. That's going to be the county limit there. The darker colors like Alaska and Hawaii is going to be $1,149,825. Again, the county loan limit in these places only matters if that's where you're going to be purchasing or using your second tier or bonus entitlement. Okay, so here is a certificate of eligibility I have for a veteran client of mine who is looking to purchase their second property with the VA home loan benefit. And what I want to show you straight away are a couple of things that you need to be aware of. One, you should have a reference number. Two, you should make sure that your name is correct. I have seen the name actually be either spelled wrong, or for those that have either been married or now married, but their certificate of eligibility or when they joined the military, it had their maiden name. We'll need to get that corrected. Now, it's not the end of the world. It's not super hard to be done. It's just something you want to make sure is accurate. The next you should have is your social up here. And then the next piece of information that's important is making sure that your funding fee status is correct. For those that are collecting VA disability of a 10% rating or more, this should say exempt. If you are not collecting VA disability of 10% or more, or you are not a Purple Heart recipient, or you are not a surviving spouse, you should still have it say non-exempt right here. The next thing you should have on your certificate, if you have an existing VA loan, is it should be listed here. I have actually seen that also be wrong as well. And it doesn't exactly mean that, hey, you can pull a fast one on the VA and they won't catch you. They will. It's just not showing properly on the certificate. So you want to make sure that that is accurately being reported. You'll have a loan number right here, which I have redacted just for this veteran's privacy. You'll have the state, the loan amount, the date of the loan, how much of your entitlement charged, and if it is active. If it's active, it essentially means you still own the property and the loan is still going. Anything other than that typically means that there could have been something that happened in a negative fashion, kind of like a foreclosure or a short sale. How do we determine how much entitlement is left for this veteran though? Earlier, I showed you what the county loan limit was in Bexar County, Texas, where I reside. So I'm going to use that for this veteran's case as if he was going to be purchasing his second property using his VA loan here. And what you would have noticed is the county loan limit was $766,550. What we now need to do though, is we need to actually divide this number by 4. The reason for that is because this is going to be 25% of the county limit. Hey, I know I was showing you really quickly how to calculate your second tier entitlement, but I have to ask you a question. Have you gotten value from this video so far? If you have, could you do me a huge favor and hit the like button down below? This does a lot for me in the channel because what this tells the YouTube algorithm is that this information is valuable and it will allow it to be pushed and shared to more veterans like you who need to know this information. I appreciate you. Why is this important? Well, it's simply because right here, you'll notice on the certificate eligibility that the entitlement available is based on 25% of the conforming loan limit. So we are dividing it by 25% or by 4 to come up with that number. But what we do with this information is exactly going to be what allows us to find out how much you have remaining. What we now need to do is subtract that number by the amount of entitlement that this veteran has charged. And that number is $80,290. That brings our new number to $111,347.50. But we're not done. That's just how much entitlement is available for when it comes to the 25% availability. Now that we have subtracted it from the amount that we divided, we now need to multiply it by 4 once again. This brings our remaining entitlement for this veteran in Bexar County, Texas to $445,390. And this is how much he would have available to purchase his second property with the VA home loan benefit at 100% financing. But what about a veteran that has 2 VA loans already and they're trying to purchase a third? Well, the math is pretty much the same, and I'll show you. So here is another certificate eligibility for another veteran client of ours that we helped. And as you'll see, this is actually a great example of some differences. The first difference that I noticed is this veteran is non-exempt from the funding fee. So there will be a funding fee applied to this veteran's third purchase of the VA home loan benefit. And what you'll see is they already own a property in Texas that was purchased in May of 2021. And they also own a property in Louisiana that was purchased in November of 2022. Now, when we move over to how much they have available, let's look at it again in Bexar County, Texas. And I'll also do another one in a more high cost area so you guys can get an idea of that as well. When we go over to the entitlement remaining, we're going to do $766,550 again. And then what we're going to do is divide it by 4. And we're going to subtract the entitlement charged for both loans from this number. So we're going to subtract the first one, $44,756, brings it to $146,881.50. And we're also going to subtract the $62,678, brings it to $84,203.50. But now again, we have to multiply this number back by 4 to give us the total. When we multiply it by 4, this brings it to $336,814. That's how much this veteran would have available in Bexar County, Texas to purchase a property at 100% financing. I'm going to look at one of the more high cost areas and I'm going to see how much a veteran would have available in, let's do San Diego County, which is $1,602,250. So $1,602,250, we're going to go to our calculator, $1,602,250. I think I did that right. And we're going to divide that by 4. And then we're going to subtract the entitlement charged again, $44,756 equals that minus $62,678 for the second one equals that. And we're going to multiply that by 4. In San Diego County, this veteran would have $576,514. Now, for our other veteran that we talked about earlier that already has an existing VA loan, let's see how much they would qualify for in Honolulu County. In Honolulu County, the county loan limit is 1.149825. So 1.149825 is what they would have to available, 1.149825. And we need to divide that by 4. And then what we need to do is subtract the entitlement charged as we did on the other scenarios. And then we need to multiply it by 4 to give us the total. This veteran would have $828,000 available to purchase a property in Honolulu County. So now you know how to calculate your second tier or bonus entitlement. If you were able to follow along and come up with how much entitlement that you have remaining, comment below and let me know how much you came up with. And if you would like to get help of figuring out what your entitlement is, or you just simply want to get help with going through the VA loan process, give me a call, shoot me a text, or set up a discovery call with me and my team. We're happy to help you. And if you want to get more tips and tricks around the VA home loan benefit, subscribe to the channel or check out this playlist up here that has all the basics.